Hey guys, I'm Carey Bringle with the Peg Leg Porker. Some people call me the Rib Commander. Today, I'm gonna tell you about a West Tennessee dry rib. Now this is a rarity these days. Some people think they know how to make a dry rib, and they may know how to make a great rib, but they don't know how to make a West Tennessee dry rib, and there's a difference, and I'm gonna tell you today about that difference. This was invented by the Rendezvous, the Virgus family down in Memphis. They've been in business for about 75, 80 years. They're Greek, and this is actually a Greek in origin seasoning, and that's what kind of makes it unique. It's a very simple rib to prepare, but it's a delicious rib if you make them right. Today we're going to be using our Peg Leg Porker dry seasoning, and you notice that this says dry seasoning. It's not a rub. It doesn't have a lot of salt or sugar in it. It is a seasoning, and this is meant to be applied after we've smoked the rib. I'll repeat that, after we smoke the rib. I'm not trying to alter the flavor of this delicious pork that we've got here. I want to enhance that flavor with a seasoning that is a dry form of a barbecue sauce. And that's the difference in this rib. Now, we buy these ribs and they're already peeled. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, on the back of this rib, there's a membrane. If it's still on there, which it's gonna be on most retail ribs, you wanna take that membrane off. The way that you do that is you're gonna take the blunt end of a spoon and you're gonna get up under that skin, and then you're gonna grab a paper towel or a napkin and you're gonna pull it down the length of the rib. If it starts to fall apart and you can't get it off, then you can take a knife and you can cross-hatch score that, and that'll break up that membrane, so when your ribs are done, they'll have that smoke up through the bottom, and they'll come apart a lot easier. So the prep for this West Tennessee dry rib is very simple. I got my large flake kosher salt right here, and I just want to get a liberal coating of that on the top of that rib. Go high up with your salt so that it spreads out. You don't want to be right up on that rib when you do that. We're going to get a nice good coating of that on there. This rib is ready. It's ready to go on the smoker. Now on the smoker, we're going to cook this rib at 250. You can over smoke a rib. Okay, this is a thin piece of meat. It needs smoke for about that first hour, but you don't want to over smoke this rib. You don't want that big old billowy smoke coming out of your smoker the whole time you're cooking this thing. It's going to taste like it's been in a house fire, and that's not what you want. Today I'm starting my grill with one of these loaf lighters. That's an electrical lighter that you don't get any chemicals. You got no trash in here. It heats up real hot. It's just basically forced hot air, and it gets those coals going pretty quick and pretty easy. And so for a backyard guy, it's a great tool to use to get your grill started. So it's time to put on our ribs. Today I'm gonna use a Weber. These things are great, trusty, reliable, they're affordable. I've got a fire on one side of this grill, and I'm gonna take my ribs and I'm gonna put them on the other side. That way I'm getting indirect heat. I wanna smoke these. When I put my lid back on, I want to have the fire on the one side with the vent underneath open, and I'm going to put my vent on this side over the ribs. So I want that fire and smoke to roll over those ribs and then be able to roll out the top. I'm going to cook these on 250. They're going to take about 3.5 to 4 hours, and we're going to mop them about every 30 minutes until they're done. Real quick, in and out with the mop, with our basic mop sauce. These ribs have been on here for about 3.5 hours. I've been mopping them with my basic mop sauce every half hour. Now I'm gonna hit them one more time before we pull them off. All right guys, so I just pulled the ribs off the smoker. They went for about 3.5 hours. They got a beautiful golden color on them. That's from the hickory smoke. You can see, now I got a plain rib. You know, we just salted it. Now we have this. Here's the difference. Most people would have pre-rubbed those. They might have done the 3-2-1 method. They might have hit them with some butter and some brown sugar and maybe more rub or sauce and wrapped them. We're not doing any of that for this West Tennessee style dry rib. The rib's done. It's moist. It looks great. Dry rib doesn't mean that it's dry on the inside. It just means that it's got a dry seasoning on it. We're gonna take our mop one last time. We're gonna hit it just on that, get that layer on there. And then now we're gonna take our Peg Leg Porker dry seasoning and we're gonna hit that rib, get a nice liberal coating on it, and there you go. Right there, my friends, that is a West Tennessee true dry rib. You get the hamminess and the flavor of that pork, which we don't want to cover up or hide, and then we enhance it with our dry seasoning. And because this seasoning has not been cooked or gone on the smoker, we've got the brightness of those spices, and it's really gonna pop. Some people like to eat this just the way it is, and they don't want any sauce. Some people like to take them and then dip them in sauce. But that's a West Tennessee dry rib, and now you know the difference. This is beautiful. You see how they're just gonna pop right open there, and they're gonna be juicy. Guys, you know the difference now. We got a great rib here. It's beautiful. This is Carey Bringle signing off for Rated Red. Keep smoking.